Hello there, my fellow myth and fantasy nerds. My name is Tanner, and I'd like to welcome you back to my YouTube channel. First off, I'd like to wish a happy Mother's Day to all mothers past and present. In celebration, I wanted to tell a story all about motherhood. However, when coming up with a story, most portrayals of mothers and or stepmothers in myths and fairy tales tend to portray them in a not so great light, with precious few exceptions. However, after doing a little bit of research, I found a story from Norse mythology that I thinks the concept of motherhood, both the ups and the downs, perfectly. Now, like with all my myth and legend retellings, linked to the playlist up on the cards and in the description down below, I will be keeping this story as close to the original as possible, while taking some creative liberties when and where necessary. Also, remember, a good story has many retellings and variations, and this is merely one of them. So as always, please make sure to leave a like on this video, share it with your friends, and subscribe down below. Pretty please! It'll help me make more content for you. And without further ado, here is the story of Frigg and Baldur. Baldur woke with a start. Another nightmare. He'd been having terrible dreams for so long, he couldn't remember when they first started. They always ended the same, with Baldur dying horribly in one way or another. Baldur was the son of Odin, the Allfather, and king of the Norse gods, as well as his wife, Frigg, the queen of the gods. As such, he was Thor's younger brother, and beloved by all who met him. He was the god of many things, including, but not limited to, light, peace, love, forgiveness, purity, and things of that nature. Why would anyone or anything want to harm Baldur? The other gods wondered. Queen Frigg was especially distraught at her son's recurring nightmares, and so she decided to do something about it. She walked along all the 9 realms, extracting oaths out of fire, water, the beasts of the field, the birds of the air, the metals of the earth, the stones, the trees, and even the sicknesses and poisons. She made them all swear oaths to never harm her son Baldur. When this was done, Baldur had indeed become seemingly invulnerable, and soon this would be put to the test once the gods invented a new game, wherein they would throw things at Baldur. As he was invulnerable, no matter whether the other gods threw rocks or spears or swords or axes or even shot arrows at him, everything would bounce off harmlessly. Of course, there had to have been one of the gods who was not pleased about this new arrangement. Loki, the god of mischief, was the only one who was at least somewhat annoyed at Baldur and his goody two-shoes nature. There has to be something that Frigg didn't coax an oath from. There has to be something Baldur is weak to. Loki disguised himself as an old woman and approached Frigg, hoping to coax an answer out of her. "Good day to you, my lady," Loki the hag said. "Good day to you, Oma," came Frigg's reply. "What are the other gods doing?" the hag asked. "They've invented a new game, wherein they throw weapons at my son, Baldur." "Are you not worried they may accidentally kill him?" Loki asked pointedly. "Oh, not at all," the queen replied. "You see, I made each of their weapons, as well as all other weapons, stones, fire, metal, water, the plants, and even the beasts of the field swear an oath not to kill him." "But surely, your majesty," Loki the hag said, You couldn't have coaxed such an oath out of everything, could you? Are you sure there wasn't something you may have overlooked? Well, now that you mention it, Frigg responded, there was one thing. To the east of here, there grows a plant called mistletoe. When I saw it, I thought it looked too small and weak to be of any harm to Baldur, so I didn't bother getting an oath from it. With this new information, Loki set out with a wicked plan for mischief brewing in his mind. He found the mistletoe Frigg told him about. She was quite correct in her description of the small plant with its white berries, but Loki would fix that. He coaxed the plant to grow and shape itself until it became an arrow. He then plucked the arrow out of where it grew and took it back to Asgard, where he found Baldur's twin brother, Hodur, the blind god of night and winter. Hodur, why aren't you participating in the new game the Aesir are playing? Loki asked, feigning concern. Loki, you know as well as I do that I cannot participate, came the reply. For one thing, I'm blind, so I can't exactly aim at him. Secondly, even if I could see him, I have no weapon to use. Well, I have something here that can fix that, Loki said, and gave Holder the mistletoe arrow. I'll guide you to where Baldur is, and all you need to do is shoot this arrow at him. Unless, of course, you like being left out of the other gods' games. Hearing that, Holder was finally convinced. Loki took him by the hand and helped him aim the arrow towards his brother. As the arrow flew through the air, the other gods watched, expecting it to bounce off of Baldur as all the other weapons did. However, their excitement turned to horror as the mistletoe arrow ran straight through Baldur. With a look of shock on his face, Baldur looked down at the arrow that now pierced him, and he fell to the ground and moved no more. For a few moments the other gods stood there, and then a collective wail of grief at their fallen comrade rose up like a wave on the ocean. The other gods held a funeral for Baldur, the beloved one, but Frigg soon became determined to get her son back. She traveled to Helheim, realm of the dishonored dead, and the ruler of Helheim, Loki's daughter Hel, sat there on her throne of bones, one half of her face breathtakingly beautiful, the other half withered and decayed. What brings you to my realm, Frigg, queen of the Aesir? Hel asked. Hel, Frigg replied, my son Baldur was recently killed due to my oversight. I come here to request he be brought back again. Hel thought this over. Despite her parentage and where she ruled, she was not a cruel goddess. I will let you have your son back. However, as you have tried to have all things swear not to kill Baldur, you must now convince all living things to mourn him. If all living things mourn him, I shall give him back to you. If but a single living thing refuses to mourn him, however, Baldur shall have to stay in my realm until Ragnarok. Deal? Frigg didn't really have much of a choice. She called out to all living things, all the gods and goddesses, all the beasts of the field and the birds of the sky, every living thing in all the 9 realms. She beseeched them to mourn Baldur, as Hel had ordered her to. As he was beloved by all, Every living thing from the smallest blade of grass to the largest of the giants mourned Baldur, as Frigg asked. However, Hel refused to let him back, as her father, the mischief maker, Loki, was the only living thing who refused to mourn Baldur. So, because of one god's trickery, a sprig of mistletoe, and a mother's small oversight, Baldur was to be kept in Helheim until the end of the world. And there we have it. That was the story of Frigg and Baldur. I guess it goes to show that even the best mothers make mistakes, and those mistakes may have unintended consequences. If you liked this video and you want more, please consider leaving a like and subscribing down below so you don't miss any new content from me. Also, if you have any other ideas you want to see in any future videos, please leave your suggestions in the comments down below. Who knows? It might just happen. Alright, well, that's all the time I have for this video, so I'll see you all next week with some brand new content for you. Happy Mother's Day, and I'll see you guys then.